Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Greenlink podcast. I am your host, Austin Carr, and I'm joined here today by Greenlink's Chief Revenue Officer, Mr. Jared Cacciatore. Jared, thank you for joining us today.
Glad to be here.
Yes, sir. So you just got back from a bit of a trek today. You were out in Chicago talking about Illinois Solar for All, right?
Yeah, we actually were meeting with Delmar Gillis and Jan. They essentially are they are the administrators of the Illinois Solar for All program. And I was wearing a couple of hats today. I was as both a sustainability advocate and a member of Sustain Rockford. As you know, so I came with a group from Sustain Rockford.
Right.
Also wearing my approved Illinois Solar for All vendor hat for Greenlink. Just to we wanted to meet with Delmar and Jan to discuss some of the current challenges with the program.
Yeah.
And our desire to, collaborate with them to essentially, figure out solutions so that we can have greater adoption of that program in our community and then throughout the Illinois Solar for All service region. But obviously specifically we're very interested in. Our hometown, our backyard.
Sure. Helping out the nonprofits in our community.
Yeah,
right?
and Illinois Solar for All exists to bring solar to nonprofits, public facilities, low income, single family households, multifamily. They do some community solar. There are certain sub programs of that Illinois Solar for All program that are, I guess you could say, undersubscribed and like a lot of these incentive programs, there are some bumps in the road early on.
Sure.
Some parts of it have worked well.
Yep.
And have had pretty high adoption, and some parts of it still face challenges. So
which programs specifically are the ones that have been successful, and which are the elements of the program have been more challenged, as you mentioned?
Yeah. So the community solar, which would be you take a plot of either green space or maybe it's an old parking lot, somewhere where there's a large chunk of land, and you can install a large solar field, right? And then so different than a rooftop solar project. Yep. You'd be installing a large solar field, and then members of the community, so homeowners. Renters, anybody who's paying, or anybody who has a ComEd account, essentially, right? They can subscribe to this community solar program. So think of it as it's like virtual solar.
Yeah,
you can benefit from the energy savings, from the savings on your electric bill, without actually installing solar on your roof. So there have been some developers who've been working that sub program successfully since its inception, and there are a few of those here in our community that are actually already either under development or already developed, and then so that there's that sub program. There's the nonprofit and public facilities sub program, which would service nonprofits and public facilities. So they really try to focus on organizations that are providing benefit to the community.
Got it.
That's really, that's the kind of the spirit of the program. So that might be community centers or homeless shelters, food banks, faith-based organizations that are making impact in the community.
Sure. So one of our first Illinois Solar for All customers that we're working with, Comprehensive Community Solutions, they are that perfect avatar. Downtown Rockford, they're making a huge impact on the community, and they're going through that Illinois Solar for All program. What did that structure look like? Do you recall some of the ways that deal looked like, and how that is going to impact CCS, and along with the cash flow on the financial side, how will that impact them moving forward in the community and the impact that they're able to make?
Yeah, sure. So, I mean, the first thing we have to look at is, number one, can we, is the property, is the building where we're looking to install solar, is it feasible to do it?
Yeah. Roof conditions, shading, all those different things, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Is it physically possible? Structural, can it handle the weight and all that? We look at that. We're looking at what are they paying for electricity?
Right.
The program has very stringent requirements that are designed as consumer protection, essentially.
Sure.
So that they want to make sure that the organization or the homeowner for the single family program, for example, is going to predictably save money.
Yeah,
because that's what this program is all
that's
about.
Mandated a certain percentage of savings through this program. Whereas when you go through Illinois Shines, there's not as much regulation there in some regards.
I mean, there's still a good amount, very good amount of consumer protection, and there is certainly regulation, but it's not, the bar is not nearly as high as it is for solar for all.
Yeah.
So essentially, with comprehensive community solutions, once we determined that it's a viable installation site, their energy bill, we take a look at their energy usage, and we go, yep, the solar, and we look at the potential design footprint. We go, okay, yeah, we can save them. Solar will save them money. We have to structure the the deal for the customer, so that the deal has to be structured so that in the first year they save at least 50% of compared to what they would have paid for an energy supply.
So if their annual electric rates are $100,000 a year, if they go through Illinois Solar for All, they can pay no more. And this is on the loan payments or the power purchase agreement, whatever mechanism is used to fund this project. They will pay no more than $50,000 in year one.
That's correct. Yeah. So year one, the organization has to save no less than that. Years 2 through 6, they have to save at least 35% of their energy supply costs.
Got it.
And in the case, the typical, you can do it through a purchase, or you can do it through a power purchase agreement. The PPA or power purchase agreement is the most common.
Right. That's all that was allowed up until recently, right? I mean, I didn't realize that a purchase was on the table, and I think I had heard that within the last year or so that had changed where a purchase was now on the table. Is that correct?
Yeah, and it's difficult to structure a purchase to
while meeting those criteria.
While while meeting the savings requirements.
Sure.
So if you can go right on the Illinois Solar for All website, and you can download their savings calculator, and you've got to make those numbers work in the savings calculator. So usually the easiest way to do that would be through a power purchase agreement, where in year one they're going to pay a monthly that would be that would show that at least that 50% savings.
Yeah. Years
2 through 6, it's going to be that 35%.
Got it.
And the reason it drops is because in years 2 through 6, there's a prorated O&M, operations and maintenance, expense that's built in.
15 years worth, right?
Yeah. So what happens then is in year 7, there's a donation. So the PPA third-party owner then donates the system to the organization, along with an operations and maintenance fund that they own that sits there and is meant to cover any operations and maintenance costs for the system, for the 15-year rec contract,
which is a big deal in the solar world because Chandler and I were just talking about it. Some of these different solar companies that coming into existence, and they're growing real quick, and then they're gone, and all the different things that are happening. The Time Magazine article, we discussed that a little bit. So consumer protection is so important, and you talk about 15 years of O&M being built into this project. That's a huge deal for the customer because they're making an agreement in exchange for those aspects that system will be maintained for at least 15 years. Yeah. And in year 3, if your installer's gone and your system's down and you can't find anybody else to come in and service that, you've got a serious problem at that point.
Absolutely.
And so this 15 years O&M being built in is a big bonus for the customers to have 100% peace of mind that they're going to be taken care of. That system's going to operate and perform as designed.
Correct. Yeah. And we discussed today how one of the biggest challenges that we face is it's a problem of information. It's either not enough information, so people don't know. They don't know enough about the consumers. Yeah. They don't know enough about solar.
Right.
So they don't have all the right information.
Yeah.
They don't know maybe what incentives are available to them or how they work.
Yeah.
What they cover, what they don't cover. And then on top of it, you have all of this, how should we say, super annoying marketing that is on, you can't watch a YouTube video without be like, go solar for no money. Did you know that Illinois will now pay you to go solar? I mean, it's crap, right?
So you should be a voice actor. That was really good, by the way. Maybe you are. I don't know.
I've done a little bit.
Yeah. You can't walk into the grocery store even, right? Several of these stores around town, they've got the guys in there chasing you down the aisle.
You go to
trying to hawk solar.
Costco and
I don't understand.
The company we won't name, is going to chase you down and try to sell you on a solar lease.
Why these stores allow that, I have no idea. It can't be great for their store, and it's definitely not good for the solar industry.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm assuming somebody's. I'm assuming
pocketing something somewhere, right?
Somebody approached us recently to try to get into Walmart for the same thing, and it's not cheap. Let's just say that.
I'm sure.
But I mean, we talked about how I mentioned that the very first Sustain Rockford meeting that I ever went to, I ended up on the energy task force, and our first conversation, the very first conversation was. We identified that the number one challenge, we were kind of doing a SWOT analysis, and the number one challenge to solar adoption in the region is education. It's what we talked about. People don't know enough. And then, when, I mentioned to Delmar, to Jan that the biggest challenge because of that, because people are skeptical, right? Like they're like, either they, they want to believe something that's too good to be true, or they're smart and they don't believe the too good to be true story. So when you come to them saying like, hey, if you have a multifamily building in, I mentioned to Delmar that we had done a bunch of work through Elevate over the years here through the MFES program, the multifamily energy savings program.
That's right.
Which provides low cost, or in most cases, no cost weatherization upgrades to buildings, along with a slew of other energy efficiency upgrades. That I made the initial assumption that, man, this is going to be super easy.
Right.
Who's going to say no to
that? Right.
The challenge there is that the challenge there is that you have to overcome, it's a trust issue. That they think that they don't believe you because, or some are inclined not to believe you because it sounds way too good to be true.
$50,000 in improvements invested into my building, and I'm not going to pay you a dime. Where's the catch? What's going to happen here?
Yeah, where's the catch? Yeah. This can't be real.
Right.
And in the same, I think, is true of certainly the Illinois Solar for All program.
Sure.
So it's really important. We were kind of talking about how it's going to be really important for us to collaborate, to educate folks, to tell to build trust, transparency, customer or stakeholder education.
Sure. Yeah, that's education is a big piece, and then as the solar industry continues to grow and develop. Somebody has a bad experience and they're telling their friends, hey, I went with this company and they promised me the moon. I didn't get that. And, solar doesn't work now. And so that starts to, put a bad taste in people's mouth, whether directly the person that had that experience or their friends, neighbors, family. And, I saw one of our team members the other day posted a photo on Facebook of an install we're doing. Somebody jumped down like, well, I'm out in Arizona and solar's not real and it doesn't work. And I'm seeing this post. I'm like, well, I'm looking right here at my $14 a month, electric bill. It's definitely inaccurate. But she came across somebody that had, she didn't even have solar. She said that in the comment, but her neighbor or somebody else had a bad experience. And so just understanding that what somebody else's experience is because they worked with, maybe not the best contractor, the best organization, doesn't mean that solar doesn't work. It means that wasn't a great company. And that's, applicable to all things throughout our life, and especially in the trades, that can be a real vulnerability. And because solar's so new, people don't have that experience, information, knowledge, and that way to navigate through and understand, is this real? It's really important people do their research, right? And all this is available online. You can do a Google search, Illinois Solar for All. You can Google search Illinois Shines. All these things are out there. And it's important that when folks are looking and exploring and have any interest at all, do your due diligence. It's right out there. The information's there. You just gotta go look for it. Don't just listen to a guy across the table from you with the pen and contract in his hand trying to get you to sign. That's not the way to do it.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I think that there's I've been having a lot of conversation with industry peers across the country.
Yeah.
And it is I think we're really we're at an inflection point in the industry.
Sure.
So, you mentioned that you talked about that Time magazine article, which depending on how you choose to look at it,
right,
can be either depressing or fearful. But I choose to look at it and I go like, I think we're reaching a point where things are about to get, the apple cart is really about to get upset,
up a bit,
everything's getting shaken up right now. I think I equate it almost to like the 2008, real estate market collapse. There was unsustainable growth, a lot of, disingenuous and often fraudulent practices happening. Just a lot of people out there chasing the money and not necessarily chasing the best interests of the folks they're serving.
100%.
And so, we're seeing it, right? There's all of the companies that, the high pressure sales,
Sure.
Organizations that are, sign here, and tricking people into signing deals they really shouldn't sign, that aren't really going to save them money.
Right.
And that's the unfortunate challenge that we face. However, a lot of those companies, that model is no longer, it's becoming unsustainable. People are becoming more educated, and there are a lot of pushes now to introduce more consumer protection. There's even a lot of talk of having certifications and licensing for folks to even be able to consult and sell those.
I think that's great. I would welcome that. Some of the folks that get concerned or worried about additional regulation maybe are folks that aren't doing it the right way.
Absolutely.
Because I think it would be great. I want to protect the industry. I want to see the industry grow, not only just for Greenlink in our local area, but throughout the nation. It's a big deal and it's a real thing. And so I would hate to see it turn the wrong direction because of some bad actors out there. But there's a lot of things to explore there, a lot to talk about. We're definitely going to have to get on a podcast again. I know we don't have a lot of time today, but it was good to hear a little bit about the Illinois Solar for All, what's happening there, a little bit about different ways that homeowners and consumers can protect themselves and different avenues to explore as they're having this conversation. And so we'll definitely dig in deeper on another episode and start to, weave through the different opportunities that are out there. So appreciate you joining today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Thanks, man.